I was just pondering, when is the best time to live as far as age? And so I really delved back into my very young years, not so great. Then high school, not so bad. But I would say, even though there were some bad experiences, I think that I felt the most alive, the most happy maybe, say 25 until your 30s. That's the only time as being the most exhilarating. You have a positive outlook on life while you're trying to get ahead and make something of your life. There were some bad experiences, but exempt from that, I'm just thinking, if I could freeze an age to stay in forever, perpetually, I would say 25. Yeah, I really do. And, they say when we die, and it's all based on faith, we don't really know, but it said that if you get to heaven, it's paradise forever. I'm hoping that in paradise, where, I want to be like 25, perpetually in heaven. That's it. So I don't know. I think we get our youth back. I don't know. I know that we're supposed to be healthy regardless what age. We're supposed to be healthy and happy. And I want to know what manna is. They say we eat manna in heaven. What is that exactly? Is it something magical, like anything you imagine it to taste like, perhaps? I don't know. Part of me wants to discover heaven and to experience it. Of course, the other part, the earthly part of me, doesn't want to die. I never want to die. But in the end of times, the believers are supposed to be raptured up. Now, there's a big argument between certain religious dogmas on that. But it does say, and I don't remember the verse number, it does say there will be a catching up, a catching away. So that's like a rapture. And I believe it. I do. I think it's our spirit. It's so different than when you die and you're buried, but the minute your body dies, your soul releases. It's free, but it's still a whole being. It's still you, but it's in spirit form. So yeah, I think the spirit lives on forever. Wherever you end up, let's hope you end up, and I hope I end up, and I hope everybody else ends up in a good place. So I was just pondering that today. I don't know, I like to sometimes just sit around and think of something to ponder. Yeah, I do believe the spirit lives on forever. I really do. And it's really our choice where we want to spend it based on the things we do in life. Now, I don't know anyone, including myself, that's never committed a sin. Some pretty heavy, some light. We've all screwed up in life. We learn by our mistakes. Sometimes bad things happen to us. Whatever. I don't know why some people reject Jesus. I mean, he really did walk earth. There were eyewitnesses in the hundreds, and things were documented. I believe the scribes documented things. They documented everything about him. And I know the Catholic Church says they have 60,000 records in archives about Jesus' life. So I believe he was real. I believe he, is a Messiah. I believe he's God's son, manifested in the flesh, which is what the scriptures say. And I don't know. I hope that it's true, that we go in a good place, that he'll catch us up and we're going to go in a perfect place forever. And Jesus said, all sins are forgiven except one, and that's blasphemy against the Holy Spirit. And I'd have to look up the verse number, but it's in there. It's in the New Testament. I don't try to memorize verse numbers. I just use a concordance if I want to find something specific. But right now I don't feel like looking it up. You can look it up. You can Google it. God really made things simple for human beings when you think about it. He really only laid down 10 laws, and those are the 10 commandments, So, but, people have broken those. They messed up in life. There's prisoners that have messed up in life. They're sitting in prison for some of the things they've done, murder, whatever. Jesus did say in the New Testament that all sins are forgiven. All sins are forgiven if one is truly repentant of same, and they try really hard not to repeat it, and they have to fight temptation, not to repeat it. But yeah, he said all sins are forgiven only though to those who are truly repentant. Now, there's been talk and stories about prisoners trying to get out of prison early. And what they'll do is they'll find Jesus real fast, supposedly, in the prisons, and they're acting like they really love him. I don't know who they think they're fooling. If they're not sincere, God knows their heart. He can read their heart. Hopefully they are sincere, and some of them have gotten out and were remorseful. I'm thinking of one that's Johnny Cash, the singer who passed away a few years ago. He was a tough guy. He didn't, I don't think, committed heinous crimes. I think it was petty robberies and stuff. I don't know. I'd have to look at his rap sheet. But he became a true believer in God. He had a wonderful wife, June Carter. They were so in love. I think he was married prior to that, but they had a really good marriage. And then I think she passed away not too long ago. But he ended up being a really good man and a fantastic musician. He was pretty much my parents' music. But as I got older, I started recently listening to his music. Man, he was good. His lyrics were good. He had a lot of good songs. And if you look online, a whole list of them, there's like more than 1,000. I don't know. The list just goes on and on. So, but he went to prison and he was remorseful. And I think he was in and out of prison 7 times. Don't quote me on that, but I believe I heard that somewhere. Maybe I'll get a book and read his whole bio. Nothing heinous. I mean, not murder and hurting people. I think it was more, like I said, robberies and stuff. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But he was a real man's man. That's what I liked about him. He was a tough guy, but he grew a soft heart for God. And he was a good-hearted man. After he got out of prison for the final time, he really tried. I think he's somewhere in heaven. I do. So, we've all done things bad. We've done things, we screwed up, misjudgments, whatever. You feel horrible about it, but that's a good thing. It's good to have a conscience. Psychopaths don't have a conscience. If you have a conscience because you're really remorseful over something you did or a mistake you made or the candy bar you stole when you were 13 from the store. Yeah, we've done that too as kids. I remember my mom telling us something that set me straight though. It sounds kind of mean, but it wasn't. She meant well and I really understood it. She said, don't steal from stores, but if you ever steal anything from the store, when you leave the store, you'll get hit by a Mack truck and die. That was kind of rough, but that stuck with me though. We had tough talk back in those days. Today, I don't know what they do. Today, yeah, talking to your kids is good, but a smack on the rear end didn't kill us. Yeah, we got spanked sometimes. We kids had those paddle balls. Do you know what I'm talking about? It looks like a paddle. It's thin wood. It's just wood. And on it is a rubber band string with a little ball on the end. And it was pretty hard to master that, hitting the ball all the time with it. And whenever they broke and the ball came off, my mother would save them. She would save them in the closet. And if we were acting up or something, bend over. And we got smacked on the bare rear end. Drop your doors and bend over, and she'd wet the paddle and boom, one sting to the butt. It didn't kill us. It hurt our egos more, I think. We'd cry. But we deserved it if we were acting up. And I know people are going to frown on that, but it worked. And, we all survived as kids. But yeah, back then, I'm not saying people should do that today. I just don't think that constantly sweet talking a kid that's doing something really bad or acting up really bad. Talking's important. But to coddle them through that talk, I think they need tough talk sometimes. I really do. That's just my opinion, okay? It never killed us, kids. As a matter of fact, in Catholic school, sometimes we went to Catholic school when the money was there. And then sometimes, most of the time, we had to go to public school. But when the money was there in their early years of school, we went to Catholic school. We got the best curriculum. But we had one nun. She was mean. All the other nuns were super nice, but we had one that was really, 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 really mean. And and if you were acting up in class or whispering or talking when you weren't supposed to during her lecture or whatever, open your hands and smack with that ruler right on the hand. And it stung for a minute, but it hurt our pride and ego more because we were embarrassed. But eventually all of us got it because, I don't know, we were always talking or something in our seats to each other. That was a trip. We had a really nice nun when I went and lived with my dad. I bounced back between living with my dad and my mother. And my dad lived about 70 miles away, more in the country. And I went to an all-girls Catholic school, St. Joe's. It's not there anymore, in Adrian, Michigan. I think they turned it into a university, but I think it's a public university. I'm not sure. The nuns wore the habits, and I'm trying to think... we pulled pranks sometimes, innocent little pranks. So I didn't participate, though. The other ones did, but I got a good laugh out of it. They would sneak into the PA room, where the speakers are that blare everything out through the hallways and everything. They would sneak in and play that record back in the day. It was called Ba 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 Baran. Know that song? It was a cool song. Well, her name was Sister Barbara Ann. She passed away. She was so sweet. She was so good. We all loved her. She was the friendliest nun on the planet, I bet. But anyway, she would get beat red standing up in front of class when she heard that blaring through the school in the halls and in the rooms. And it was funny. But she had a good sense of humor, and she laughed about it afterwards. She was kind of she was just a beautiful nun. She was so sweet. And it's sad, though, because some of the older nuns, we could tell, even at our age, I don't know how to explain it. It's like they were jealous of her because she was so kind, she was so sweet, she was very effective with us students, and it seemed like the old ornery nuns, and we didn't have too many of them, they didn't like her. I think they were jealous of her. That's sin, too, being jealous of someone. And this is a religious organization, but it's in all religions. There's hypocrites everywhere. So I've been going down memory lane a lot, and there were some bad times, and then there were some good times. So it evened out. I wish I could go back, though, and some of the decisions I made, I would have made totally different. You get older, you start looking back on your life wondering, did you make a difference? Did you help people more than hurt them? Did you this? Did you that? That's what I've been doing lately. And I think for the most part, I think I did okay. And there's only really 2 really big regrets that I can think of. Yeah, so memory lane. I don't know. Maybe that's a dangerous place to go.